You're listening to the Twisted Sisters podcast with Allie, a fiery realtor queen, and Samantha, a gypsy wandering her way through life while navigating being a rock star woman with ADHD. Both are former teen moms of two who have faced challenging adversities. They're here to break stereotypes, get real with you about the messiness of life, and remind you that we're all just a little twisted.
Hello and welcome to the Twisted Sisters. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a brand new episode. We are videoing for the first time, so stick with us. We have an amazing producer here today, so this is super exciting. I am one of your hosts, Samantha Mello, and my co-host,
Allie Engren.
And we have the pleasure and excitement of introducing our moms, Kathy and Kathy. So,
Team Kathy.
Yes, Team Kathy. One is with a K, one is with a C. And it is pretty funny because we have Allie's mother, Kathy Coffee, over here. And we have my mom, Kathy Kaywell. But I kind of have a little bit more features of Kathy Coffee. And Allie looks a little more like my mom, Kathy Kaywell. So it's actually kind of
Team
funny.
Red.
Team Red.
Yes.
So it's pretty interesting how we could meet at the age of, 19, 20?
When did we meet?
Yeah.
Oh, I was 17.
Oh,
I was 18 and you were 18.
I'm a pedophile.
Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, and then, we just totally bonded, and it's just crazy, the connections that we have. I don't know. I know Kathy was a popular name then, but
It was.
Oh, it's going to come back.
It is coming back already a little bit.
Is it really?
Yes.
Lorelai Kathleen, so that's good.
There you go.
Right, but can you
We're
imagine
starting.
a little 2-year-old Kathy running around?
Well, what I think is funny is you were named after your mom.
Yep.
So it was Kathy. Can you imagine saying your own name out loud and being like, that's why
Yeah.
I did kind of do that with Lorelai just as a joke. So when you yell at her, and
I
you
have to say my
Lorelai
own name,
Kathleen,
and
you
I
have to
say it a
your own
lot.
name.
I say it a
know,
lot.
it's kind of funny.
But I like to hear it, actually.
I think I giggle a little every time. Either that or I set myself up for a little,
Payback?
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Feisty
got
redhead.
2 middle names. So if you can imagine my mother calling me Alexander Christine Francis Dalton. Oh my God, I killed somebody.
She really meant it.
Yes.
When you use those 2 middle names for
Well,
sure.
isn't that how you name your kids? You see how well you can yell it?
Yes.
Is that really how you do it?
Yeah.
That's
The
what we
flow-
did.
The flow of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Samantha Ray.
Yeah, that does work.
Yeah.
And my mother's name and my grandmother's name are Frances, and my middle name is Frances, so I had to put Frances in there at some point.
So do you think, when you name, because I remember, naming Hayden for the first time, and you would always, when you were younger, be like, I'm going to name my kid this, or I'm going to name this. And I remember telling everybody, naming your kid is literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Ever. Because you're, setting them up for the rest of their life. And so it's if you continue a family name, are you, continuing a good thing? Or is it a bad thing? Or is it, what is it?
Expected.
Yeah.
I felt like it was hard growing up with Catherine Francis. My mother had a hard time with the name Francis, but I think you respect it as you get older.
Yeah.
And so I wanted her to have it, but I was still only 23, so I gave it her second one so that she didn't have to use it all the time if she didn't want to. But now my youngest daughter, she wants to name her daughter Francis.
So it's
You know what I
coming
mean?
back.
So
Yeah.
it is staying within the family, and I think that it's just a generational thing.
I love the name Catherine.
Yeah.
too. It's such a classic.
And I feel like
strong
Kathy
name.
maybe won't come back, but I feel like Catherine or Kathleen, they
Kathleen,
won't
yeah.
cut it short.
Yeah.
They'll just keep it full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dig into maybe the start of you guys before you had little Allie and little Sam in your bellies. What was life like for you? I don't know who wants to start.
Do you want me to start?
Yes.
My life, I grew up in Burnsville.
Maybe he's running it. Sorry, that was me.
I can't get it any higher, you guys.
Technical difficulties. That's all right. We're good.
He's good.
I grew up in Burnsville. I'm the youngest of 3. I had 2 older brothers, Billy and John. My parents moved around a lot. My dad was an airline pilot. He was in the Air Force, and then he was hired with Northwest And that's kind of how they came back to Minnesota. Grew up in Burnsville my whole life. Had a wonderful childhood for the most part. You know what I mean? I was blessed. My parents, you know what I mean, had enough money to support us and let us have our choices in life.
Were you close with them, or was it
I
very
was
much
super
like a
close with my
parent-child?
mother. My father was a very sweet man, but like I said, he was a pilot, and so he traveled a lot.
Yeah.
My mother did not have a driver's license. They came from Boston, Massachusetts, and so I think coming from the city, I don't think she thought much of it. But growing up in a suburb in Burnsville and your mom didn't have a driver's license was like a freak. Like, you guys are freaks. Like, your mom can't drive us to Skateville? Like,
And
what's
Burnsville
going on?
back then was not Burnsville now. It was definitely
No,
smaller.
Burnsville was, they were calling it the next Edina, if that makes any.
It
It was
skips
the
that.
up and coming suburb.
Right.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Well, even down to she had the milkman. Like,
Oh, yeah. We had the dry
Oh.
cleaner come to our door
Yeah.
every week. We had the milkman come to our door every week. So,
she still had the
was-
milkman.
So what was it
come.
like when you had to buy milk at the grocery store for the first time?
I don't ever remember buying milk at the grocery store.
No.
But when you went to the grocery store with Fran, you had to come with her, and she did 2 shopping carts because she didn't have a driver's license. And because
She was resourceful.
her husband would travel, you would have the 2 full shopping carts of food, which was also embarrassing
Yeah.
as a young girl. Like, people are looking at us like, wow, what do you have, 12 kids? No, just 3.
me and my 2 brothers. Although
Yep.
boys do eat a lot of food.
Yep. So when I got my driver's license, I was a blessing to my mother.
So you graduated from Burnsville High School.
Burnsville High School in 1984.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of friends growing up? Did you play any sports?
I played soccer my whole life. That was kind of my main sport. Had lots of friends. Still have many of those friends till this
Yeah.
day. It was fine. I didn't enjoy high school. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It wasn't probably my most favorite time in my life, high school. I think my parents were going through things personally. It was affecting our family. And I just think that putting high school on top of it, the stress along with fitting in and making sure you have the right friends and all of that kind of affected me.
But yeah, becoming an adult and
Mhm.
understanding adult reality,
Mhm.
and I call it adulting.
Yes.
But just understanding that I think the truth about people around you and your eyes open up a little bit. It's a lot
Mhm.
to take in for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you go through those peer pressures through school.
Yeah.
But I think junior high, it starts to happen. But I think you're still young enough where you're like
So did
courageous
Kathy
and you
drink
can
and
get
party in
through.
high school?
I didn't
were you a
so
goody
much
good?
until maybe my junior year.
Okay.
A little bit. You know what I mean? I never said that I was a huge partier, to be honest,
Yeah.
through high school. Senior year, probably a little bit more because I think that's when people start having parties at their house when their parents are gone. But for the most part, I was pretty responsible with that.
Yeah.
So I know it's surprising.
Whatever. I was gonna say,
But I
how
was.
was it growing up? Because you were the only house that had a pool in your backyard in
Yes.
your neighborhood. So how was that
So-
dynamic?
It was ugly. So my
Especially our 2 older brothers.
Yes. So when my parents built their home, I think we were the second house in that neighborhood. And so we had a community pool built. But for some ungodly reason, my father said, I want a pool. And so he talked the builder to letting him have a pool. So we're the only pool in that associated neighborhood. You're not allowed to have a fence. You're not allowed to have a shed. You're not allowed to have certain things. So we're the only ones with a fence, with a pool, and our garage door faced the back of our lot, and everybody else's faces the front. So we had a bigger driveway. So I was already pinpointed as different.
Really white.
Yeah.
I'm Catherine Francis Coffee. Everybody was Barbara Johnson, Christy Anderson, and I'm a Coffee. My brothers and I used to go through the phone book. We were the only Coffee at one point in that. Remember the big?
Yeah, remember?
We were the only Coffees in
Whoa.
Minnesota.
Wow.
We would highlight it like every couple years, like
Still got it.
We
Irish
still
is
got
in
it.
the house.
So yeah, all those little quirks were different things. So I think it gives you trying to fit in, as
Yeah.
a child and as a young adult. You're always trying to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
When you become an adult, you try to be not like anybody else.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. it's
So
very
yeah,
true.
it was interesting. My brothers would have major partiers. They were the partier out of the 3 kids, jumping off the roof into the pool. My dad was a pilot, so they would have a huge 4th of July party every year, so people would travel from all across the United States to come to their
How
party.
fun.
Wow.
Those are the things you look back probably and like appreciate.
Those were fun.
But in the moments you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't realize how cool they are.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So it was good. Yeah.
That's cool. How old were you when you, Allie is your first child?
She is my first child. I was 23 when I gave birth to Allie, so I got pregnant when I was 22
So you graduated high school.
in 84.
And did you do college or?
I went to
anything like
beauty
that?
college in St. Cloud. My high school boyfriend at the time was going to St. Cloud, the university. So I moved into his parents' cabin with him, which was a big shocker for his parents. They weren't really grooving on that. But we were in college, and he was his second year in college. So I would live up there, and then he would go home for breaks. But you girls know, in cosmetology, you don't get Christmas
Right.
break for
No.
2 weeks. You don't get Easter break. So I
Those are your
would
busy
live
times.
up in that cabin in the middle of the winter on Briggs Lake in Clearwater, and
Which your mom set you up for. Like, you
yeah,
probably
I
learned
had
all
no
your
phone.
survival skills.
no phone,
2
no
carts of
cell
groceries.
phone. Yeah, I had rear-wheel drive Camaro. They're like literally summer cabins. I'm the only one. Talk about every scary movie going through when you drive home at
Misery.
night. Yes.
Oh.
Jason. Like, you'd just be terrified. I would park outside and then just run to the door to get in. And we had to close off half the cabin to winterize it. So I literally just had this one room. But it was
Did you
fine.
at
I
least have
survived.
TV and stuff?
I had DVD, player, but no.
No.
I didn't have cable or
Yeah.
anything. So you were pretty much isolated.
Yeah.
So you hung out at school as long as you could, or you hung out with friends.
How
I was gonna say, at
interesting.
least you had hopefully some girls at cosmetology.
I had a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
And you had your fake IDs. You know what I mean? So you were at the press, the red carpet, all
I
those
got
fun
my
things.
fake
St.
ID from
Cloud.
cosmetology school, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, somebody brought it to cosmetology school, and they were like, "This looks like you," and I was like, "Score! I got a fake ID."
Was it? Yeah, but she was like twice your size in the photo, wasn't
No,
she?
it was legit.
Oh, I thought somebody like
Laura
took.
Beth Gephardt, whoever you are, I had your fake ID.
Oh my
You found
God.
it on
I
the
got mine
floor
from a
at
girl that I
Babes.
waitressed with. She goes, "We keep getting messed up. Do you want my? Do you want me to get you an ID?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks."
Wow. We made ours at Spencer's at Woolworths at the Burnsville
So
Center.
did we.
See?
We like
And it
cut out the numbers,
Yeah.
and I was really good at it, so I got to do everybody's. We had our real license, but then we would,
For
doctor them up, and we were getting into the
Yeah.
bars at 19. And
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Burnsville Bowl was my jam. Ride down the silver slide.
Could you back skate? Skate
Yeah.
backwards?
Yeah.
Oh,
She still
Kathy.
does.
I still roller skate. I just took my
Wow.
roller skates out of my car just the other day because I've just
Wow.
been so busy working. I haven't been able to go.
It's coming back
Four,
though now.
four.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's coming back now, like all the really cool roller skates and stuff. Like it's a cool
Yeah,
thing.
I
to do.
lost it when inlines came out. I could not stand on them. I was just
Yeah.
like, and I loved roller skating.
I don't
It's
feel like
coming back.
inlines is
I'm so
fun.
happy.
Roller skates are better.
Yeah.
I vote
I
roller
agree.
skates.
Me too.
Okay, well, let's go.
All
You
right.
and I got a date at Skateville.
Yeah, and you
The
I'd love
Kathy's
to.
holding
Yes.
hands.
Oops.
We'll just like
Ah.
this.
ABBA.
Yes.
ABBA.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was like my highlight of my life when we were young, was
Yeah.
being able to go to
Going to
Skateville.
me too. Well, not Skateville,
wasn't
but
having your
going to the
daughters?
roller skating
The
rink.
roller rink. The boys, the friends, the outfits.
Then I would
you
say I
put
was
on.
going to the roller rink, get dropped off, get picked up, go party, then get dropped back off, and then get picked up.
And
by
where
my
were
cop
you
dad.
going to party?
Where?
Yeah. Was it by the roller rink?
No, I didn't grow up here.
No, I
Oh,
understand
there?
that.
No.
Oh,
Who
somebody
knows?
picked you
Somebody
up from
else's
the roller
house.
It
Down
was
at-
just a-
Because you know what
Yeah.
we had by the roller rink, where my roller rink? Howard Johnson's hotel.
Oh, that's
So
bad.
then you would find your boyfriend there, and then you would walk down and get French fries, and then we would drink on our way there walking up. I did not. I was kind of a goody two shoes with that, but yeah, it was a big. If you went to the roller rink, then you got to walk down to Hojo's.
Well, Hojo.
Oh.
Yeah, Howard
Hojo.
Johnson's.
Mojo.
Yeah.
All right, so we're ending right where you got pregnant. Well, not quite, but we're getting there. But Mom, do you want to talk? My mom, Kathy
Yes.
Kaywell. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where you started?
Well, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in California, in the Bay Area, in Fremont, California. Middle class. My dad was a cop. My mom worked at a bank. I was the oldest of 3 girls. I partied a lot in high school, but my life changed in high school. My parents divorced, and so things kind of started going a different way. So I was, oh my gosh, I went to school, but I was really never there. And I graduated with extra credits, but I don't know how.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm kind of impressed too. It's amazing. And I am actually still really good friends with 4 of my girlfriends from high school. So we still hang out and do stuff. I'm
your last baby.
Yes.
So
Samantha's
you
my
had-
youngest. So when I was 20, I had my oldest daughter, Sarah. And at 24, I had Jacob, my son. And then at 26, I had Samantha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it
Yes,
like
I
when
am.
you got pregnant with Sarah? Your first.
Her dad and I, actually, we were living together. And then we decided this relationship isn't working out. We
you guys
dated all
met
through
in
high
high
school. Yeah, we went to different high schools, but we dated in high school. And after high school, we partied a lot. And then we moved in together and decided, oh, this is not working out. Let's go our different ways. And then I found out I was pregnant. And then we decided, okay, we're going to try to make this work. So then we had our daughter, and 2.5 months later, we got married. And then 4 months later, we were apart. So it was kind of crazy. And then, I think in hindsight now, I had postpartum depression really bad.
Yeah.
And it was a really difficult time for me, really difficult. So that was hard. And then I kind of went down. I just drank a lot. I did a lot of partying. And I don't think it was to have fun. It was to escape. I did a lot of escaping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sarah lived between her dad and I for a time. And, gosh, that's 40 years ago.
That's crazy,
40 years ago. Life has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then him and I were apart, and I already knew Sam and Jake's dad. And then him and his wife divorced.
Which you guys had already met her, so she was on the podcast when I did
right,
you and your
Tracy.
girlfriends in Tahoe, Tracy, which is kind of funny,
And
but
we're
it's pretty neat
It
because
is.
Tracy knew my dad, from a very young age.
She was 15.
Yeah, her mom and my dad's parents were best friends.
In high school.
Yeah. And,
Moms, yeah.
Yep, so it's just kind of funny
Fun.
how that all works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant with Jacob, and Jake was 2 years old, and his dad, Mark, Samantha's dad, also went in the Navy. And we moved from the Bay Area to Southern California.
And my dad was a partier. He was
a big
best.
partier. He was
a great person, but not the best.
But he went
husband.
in the military and really got it together. It was pretty amazing. So I was on board, and then we got to San Diego, and within a couple years, it was pretty going back the other way. Mm-hmm. And actually, when I got pregnant with Samantha, we had been trying to get pregnant. I had gotten pregnant. I found out he was getting discharged from the military. A few days later, I actually miscarried that baby. Pretty sure we were together one time and conceived Samantha. And Mark left. And so it was 1987 was a rough year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was me and Jacob and Samantha in my belly.
And it's crazy because I think I remember one of my first earliest memories. I don't know if you guys ever do that sometime. I don't ever do it, but I remember trying to think about that one time. What is my earliest memory? And I remember being in that apartment with the 2 other families. Or was it one other?
Oh, no, that was a house. That was
house?
with Tony and Donna.
Well, I feel like, did we not live in an apartment with a pool?
We
I
did, but it was
remember-
only us.
Oh.
It was just me and you
I
and
remember
Jacob.
living in a room with me, you, and Jake.
Though that was the whole apartment.
That was the whole apartment.
An apartment with 2 bedrooms.
And
the pool was right
we
outside.
lived in just that apartment. But I thought, who was that? Did you do daycare? Was there? I feel like there was
I
just
did daycare.
always kids there.
I did daycare.
Okay, so then I remember that. But I remember swimming in that pool.
Oh, yeah.
But
You were
how
6
was
months
I?
old when you were
swimming. So I was
swimming.
super young.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Taco Bell and getting tacos.
Oh, no. So you're
So
mixing
I'm
up a few
mixing it all
apartments.
up. See, I know. This
So
is why.
that was in Poway, the apartment that I had. Then what happened is I moved to Oceanside and shared it with Mona and her daughter.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah, and we would walk to when tacos
How old
were
was
19
I at
cents
that
a
one,
piece.
at that apartment?
Probably like 2 years old.
So we were at we lived with, so yeah,
Yeah.
so I remember that.
Yeah.
We lived with another
Good
family.
memories from then.
But that's
Yeah.
about, I can't tell you.
I'd put her in the
somebody's
stroller.
name when they
I didn't have a
introduced us.
car. We just walked everywhere.
10-cent tacos.
Well, they were 19 cents, but
19 cents or whatever.
Close.
I just remember them being really cheap.
they were.
And that was the highlight.
I'm like, I got $4. Let's go to Taco Bell. That was
Now,
the good old days when I had like
$4
maybe
is
She brought me
800
Taco
bucks.
John's, girls.
$800 a month would come in, and rent would be paid or utilities, and we'd have like $50 left. Let's go to Taco Bell.
Yeah. I like look at that and I just think, holy moly, that's pretty incredible. Like just you're abandoned by this guy and then you're making it all work with, but what a cool
Yeah.
thing. You've met some really amazing women throughout that.
Oh my gosh,
That's
a lot.
so neat.
Yeah, and still in contact with
Yeah, all
lots.
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very cool.
And I know like
And in that process, I actually gave my life to the Lord. And so that's when things started to really turn. And they actually got worse before they got better because I was trying to come out of a hole and trying to, you're thinking. Sure. You have this certain way of thinking. And you have to train your mind to think differently because, wait a minute, the Word of God says this. I have to believe this about me and about Him. And so that was quite learning, growing time and hard.
Well, learning how to love yourself
For sure.
and all of that.
Yeah, and you can't just
That's
leave
hard.
your past behind or the mistakes that you make or the things that you think are so horrible, but that, everybody goes through things. You really have to bring them to the forefront to walk through them.
Yeah.
And that had to happen. I actually put it aside for a long, long time. Then I realized all this stuff was coming up. And,
Right.
But that's a process, don't you think, throughout your entire life?
oh, for sure.
So-
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like
It just gets easier because you recognize it a little bit more.
you do it a little sooner.
Yeah,
Than
yeah.
maybe put it off.
Yeah, I don't wait 10 years.
I feel like I'm still going through that.
Oh, I am too.
I think you always do. I want to dial back to
Okay.
your childhood
Okay.
and growing up with a dad who was an officer.
Well, I don't know that actually helped me. Because what happened was I'd get in trouble and they'd say, we'll drive you home. I'd get in trouble and they'd say, oh, you're a cop's daughter. We won't arrest you for having 10 pot plants in your backyard. I would get in trouble and they'd say, don't do this again. And I needed to get in some trouble. And I
think
didn't.
of the movie. Have you ever seen the movie Riding in Cars with Boys? With
No.
Drew Barrymore, you need to watch it because her father's an officer and she gets pregnant, and it's a good
She
dynamic.
tries to abort the baby herself and throw her down. She tries to throw herself down the stairs. And she just kind of like lightly slides down.
Yeah.
And then she like tries to like roll down this.
And the
It's pretty
best-
Oh my
humorous.
gosh.
The best part is she gets in the car with her dad one Christmas, and he's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And she's like, "Dad, I just want a bra. I got these boobs." And so the whole dynamic of it is they're like, the dad should have just bought her the bra.
Oh my gosh. Well, my dad would be like, so I would steal his cigarettes all the time, and I would take his carton and move the cigarette packs up to the front so he wouldn't notice. But hello, he took like 2 packs out and they're gone, the whole pack. So one day I get home from school and he says, sit down at the table. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, but who cares? Because I snuck out all the time. I did everything bad. Sit down at the table and he's like, have you been taking my cigarettes? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And he goes, give me the pack. And so I pull it out. Well, in the pack, I'll tell you in a minute, but he's like sitting there at the table and he's like, this pack is going like this. And all of a sudden he goes like this and a joint comes flying out on the table. And I went, well, it's more about this joint now than these dang cigarettes. He's like, what is this? I go, it's my friends. I'm just holding.
It's always the friends.
Oh my gosh, you're grounded for the rest of your life, which I was grounded all the time, but I had more fun being grounded because I would like wait till everybody's asleep, sneak out, come back before everybody woke up. It was just terrible. I was bad. I was so bad. I was very bad.
And you were the oldest of 3?
3 girls, yep. And my next sister was 3 years younger, and then my youngest sister, who we're super close, was 10 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we didn't get super close till I was like 30 and she was 20. It was a little different. Our middle sister is not in our lives at all.
Kind of like you and Izzy.
I was going to say, yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah, and now
13 years.
we always look at each other and go, what if something happens to one of us? Oh no, don't talk about that. It's terrible.
Definitely. I find that with myself too, relating, just because I have all boys, and not that you don't have the same dynamic with boys, but I grew up with all sisters and a mom that I'm super close to, so it's just like I crave that. Like, what's gonna happen? Nobody can leave me.
Yeah, and when I had my son, I was like, I don't know what to do with a boy.
I know, same.
I don't know what to do. And I probably messed him up.
Oh, see, I felt like that when I had my daughter.
Because you're older.
It's a girl.
Yeah, well,
It's different.
yeah, I don't know. It's all a wash.
Although she's more tomboy than Hayden is. Hayden's my little shoe collector and like, Mom, let's go shopping, and Lorelai's over there fixing her fake car.
Yeah.
Like, towing stuff on the roof.
Kevin, my husband Kevin, she had outside her, cozy car, and then she put the bike up on top of it, and it kept falling off. She goes, "Dang it!
She gets out of the car and slams the door.
Yeah, she slams the door, and she goes, "Get up there!"
Oh my god, it's hysterical.
It was a pretty good
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good dang it girl. Dang it.
She learned that from you.
Maybe.
And
maybe
the
not.
leg slap.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Dang
like
it.
Homer Simpson? No, it's dope.
Dope.